Alright, so it looks like the run's starting here. This is Pres J. Polk. I don't think Shiner is going to be able to give us some commentary here, so I'm going to try to fill in. The story of this game, basically, is that your hometown, which you just returned to, is falling apart. And oops! Shiner just died. No, that's an intentional death. The first thing you do in Faxanadu speedrun is die, because it gives you a complete magic and health refill, plus it death warps you to the guru here, who gives you the ring you have to proceed with the game. So he got the ring of elf, and we're going to go talk to the king, because right now you can't do anything, because you have no gold, you have no weapon, you have no magic, no nothing. Talk to the king and he'll give you 1,500 golds. This is enough golds to buy everything you need. And this is going to be a bunch of plot here, just filling in. By the way, Shiner asked me to tell you guys that this guy should be known as Faxanadu. So we'll call him Faxanadu today. So Faxanadu is getting our 1,500 golds. Alright, so we have our golds, and now we're going to go on a big shopping trip. Now, normally, if you've seen the previous world record route, Shiner would spend all of his money, every last penny, then go back and talk to the gold again to get 1,500 golds again. However, Shiner is going to use some secret new world record strats here. Something that has never been done in a world record run before. He's going to emulate the tool-assisted route and only talk to the king once. Instead, he's going to get his gold by grinding out some enemies. This is tool-assisted caliber stuff that's never been done in a complete live run before. So I am personally excited about this. I hope you guys can hear me on chat. It's really weird sitting here and talking in the dark. I mean, in silence. Because Shiner's not on the call. I'm just watching this game. So here we go. He bought the J keys he'll need for the rest of the run. The dagger. The spell deluge, which is the only magic he'll buy all game long. And an elixir, which is needed for the plot later. Okay, good. I can be heard. Thank you, chat, for helping out there. So what Shiner's doing here is what's known as a Shiner strike. He's getting up in midair and using a magic and dagger hit all at the same time, which is a really quick way to kill those jumping guys. Yes, Shiner himself named them Shiner strikes, but they're good anyway. So yeah, he actually needs 2,800 golds here by the time he gets through 2 towns. He needs 2,800 golds because he needs to buy wing boots. Wing boots will be used a lot in this run because, hey, you know, what's his speed like flying around in midair? Especially since Shiner was the one who was also the first to use another previously tool-assisted only strat, which takes advantage of a big glitch in the game, where you see in the game's programming code, there's a continuously running timer where every time the timer hits 0, the countdown for the boots goes down by 1. But it turns out, if you pause the game right at the right moment, you can keep that timer from going down. So in theory, you can make the wing boots last forever. And, oh, by the way, you don't have to fight that big guy to get the Mattock. All rooms that have an item drop have their own separate counter. And whenever that counter hits 4, you can get the drop for that room. That will be used repeatedly in the run as well, skipping half that tower of trunk there. So yeah, we're getting close to the second town in the game now, the town of Forepaw. We went through the first town, Apolloon, which is completely useless. It's one of the towns we go through without even going and stopping to talk to anybody. Poor Apolloon. It's like the town that was a big tourist trap in the middle of the country, but then they built the interstate, and now everyone just goes right by without stopping. I'm sure the gas station's out of business by now. And here's the task grind here, something that's never been done in a world record run before, because it's very difficult. So we have to just keep grinding on this guy over and over again to get that gold. I see True Demon is talking about the town of Foreplay. Sorry, that's the wrong town. If you're looking for the town where we get king keys, that's later in the town of Victim. And yes, we use Hitbox because that way I can actually see what Shiner's doing pretty much live, so my commentary won't be lagged like 20 seconds. And the reason this strategy is task only is because it's just so demanding. You have to be able to get in all the hits really quick in order to save time versus just talking to the king twice. Never mind the fact that if you're not careful, you can die because of taking damage. So there, 2873, that's enough to buy the wing boots here. Shopping is actually a pretty intense thing when speedrunning this game because you have to do two things. One, you want to make sure to maintain your walking speed. You can actually maintain your walk speed while you're going. If you're making sure to hold left while you're bumping into the wall. And also you want to make sure that you cancel out the window as soon as possible by pressing B before he says the T in thank you. So now we have the wing boots, and now we're just going to start really powering through the game here. We're going to go straight to the second fountain. There are three springs. Second spring. There are 3 springs you have to open up in order to open up the fountain, which will save your hometown, which was running out of water. That's why it was drying up. Don't ask me what this guy's talking about. This text is very confused, even if you ignore the misspelling of poison. Something is wrong, indeed. So now, Shiner's going to be pausing the game. If the music sounds weird, I actually have the stream muted so it won't echo. The music's going to sound a little weird because he's doing what I was talking about before. He's pausing the game to extend the wing boots. He's going to extend the wing boots all the way up the Tower of Fortress here. He just got another pair of wing boots, so he won't have to buy more later. Now the Joker key. This is actually very difficult what Shiner's doing right here, because he's not only having to execute the run normally, but he's also having to keep that pausing rhythm going. If the timer were to run out early, the run would be over. So I don't blame Shiner for not wanting to talk during this, though I'm sure he could. He's just that good at it. Now, he has to be careful in that. Wow. I can't believe what he just did. There was actually a wraparound hit there where, as he went to the top of the screen, he wrapped around to the bottom and took a hit from that magic firing guy, which is why he has basically no health right now. That was incredibly bold of Shiner to do there, but it means he's going to take the death here very quickly, which is good, because this is an intentional death warp here. That was gutsy. That was gutsy right there. So we just warped back here. Buying the queen key, which will be needed to get to Mist. Now here's will be a quick kill here. Just killed all the three guys like that with the counter set to 4. So he's invincible right now, he because of the ointment. So we're going to grind up some gold against this guy over and over. While we're coming in here to get 2 things, we're going to uncork the last spring. And we're also going to get the ruby ring. How long would this take in terms of regular time? As a kid, I never beat this game because it was just too difficult for me to figure out the last fortress, the evil one's fortress. I actually found my mantra, my password from as a kid, and there was no way I was going to be able to win the game because my final password didn't have any wing boots. It was all red potions. So I had no way I was going to win, and I didn't even know it. So we just ground a ton of golds there, which is very nice. And the ointment is gone. So he stayed invincible through all those fights. So now this is the one upgrade we use in the entire game. We bought that initial equipment in town. Faxanadu is wearing his initial leather tunic, along with using the spells you can buy in the first town. But now we just bought a longsword. The reason we buy the longsword is that it can actually kill enemies that are half our height. With the dagger, you can only kill things that are 2 tiles high, as tall as you are. But with the longsword, you can kill those little guys that are hard to kill otherwise. Now with the ruby ring, we push that aside and go up the ladder into Mist. Now this is a fun area. I am a huge fan of this game. The music is great, the graphics, the plot, and this is a very atmospheric part of the game. Because now that we've solved the initial problem our hometown had, the world record is like 28 minutes by Shiner. But it's probably going to come down soon now that he's incorporating the task strats. Here's the town of... Wow. I completely blanked on what that town's called. It's the other town we don't actually do anything in. We just walk right on by. Wow. Anyway, these little sword guys we're fighting here are actually really tricky to kill. We have a hitbox viewer using tool-assisted emulators to see how far away they can be when they hit you, and it's crazy. How far away they can be has nothing to do with the sprite. Those little guys have a sword that reaches forever. Now Shiner used a little strat there that's really helpful. He took a hit while he was on the ladder. Whenever you get hit when you're on a ladder, you get reset, as we call it, and you're no longer in the climbing a ladder animation. So he could actually turn right and hit the guy while standing on the ladder. Mask on, yes! Thank you, BBB Blitz. So he's entering that door over and over again because of what I mentioned before. There's that item drop counter. He's setting it to 3 because he wants to get yet more wing boots. And again, the music's gonna get a little choppy here again. It's not the stream. Don't blame Twitch, it's the pausing that's going on. Because if he can really extend these boots a long time, he can use a very aggressive strat in the Tower of Mist, where we're going to pick up the Black Onyx, which plot-wise I believe is the core of a meteor that crashed into the World Tree and released all that poison, which poisoned the fountains and have turned the dwarves into these terrible monsters. So we're going to buy 3 king keys. Gee, I hope the stream is rated appropriately for this. These are all the keys you will need for the rest of the run. If you've played this game casually, that's a pretty big deal. Having to come back for these keys is a very difficult thing in a casual run. So being able to just buy all the keys all at once and not having to worry about them is really nice. There's another little trick he's doing related to that ladder reset. It turns out if you have wing boots active, you can also do a ladder reset with pretty much a little frame perfect combination of pressing up, letting go of up. I've been trying to learn it, but it's not easy, and Shiner just does it like it's nothing. That big blue guy, he jumps so high, so we call him Luigi to distinguish him from Mario. So here we are. This is a very bad place in the run to die. If you were to die here, you have to go all the way back to the town of Victim. And notice how Shiner, there was an ointment there a couple rooms ago that he just went ahead and completely skipped. So he's facing all these difficult enemies with no help. He's just relying entirely on his wing boot pausing. The great thing about this game as a speedrun is there's virtually no RNG involved. There's no luck, it's all skill. So here's the boss. You don't want to die to this guy. And we got the Black Onyx. So now we want to die, because we don't want to have to backtrack. Don't have negative thoughts. This is an intentional part of the run. So that's why we talk to gurus in the speedrun. They set us death warp points. So now the game expects us to start gathering some very important equipment. What's not necessarily known is that this game is a side game of the Dragon Slayer series, which is probably best known in the US and Europe for Legacy of a Wizard, in which the Drossel family, short for Dragon Slayer, gets the sword and kills the dragon. Well, in this game, you are also expected to get the Dragon Slayer sword. However, it doesn't let you use the Dragon Slayer sword unless you get the battle suit, which is the best armor in the game, and the battle helmet, which is the best shield in the game. Which is great, except the game doesn't actually test if you get the battle helmet. So we're just going to get the battle suit, not the battle helmet, and completely skip getting any equipment upgrades. So we're actually going to do the rest of the game in the starting armor with the second starting weapon. Shiner continuing to get those wing boots to last as long as possible, which lets him fly over that poison jar. Yes, the battle helmet is the best shield. Hey, I didn't make the rules. I'm just explaining them. The world record is 28:35. Thank you, Tampa. There's another invincibility ointment he just passed up. A lot of people learning the game will get that ointment because, again, this is another place where dying would be very bad because you have to use a king key to get here, and if you were to die here before getting the battle suit, the run's dead. It's just dead. Shiner don't need no safety strats. He's just gonna go for it. One thing we do get here is the magical rod, which makes our magic more powerful for the final boss fights in the game. Just picked up another pair of wing boots because, hey, why not? Hey, we got the battle suit. Too bad we can't wear it. Because again, you can't wear the battle suit unless you also have the battle helmet and the Dragon Slayer. Intentional death, because we don't want to have to walk all the way back. So here's where the game just completely forgot to check if we had the battle helmet. He didn't even check, he didn't care. See, you can wear the battle suit helmet and battle suit only when you have the Dragon Slayer. So that's the next plot element. We have to go get the Dragon Slayer. And he's going to give us the Ring of Dwarf so we can get into the Fortress of Dartmoor. If you've seen the art for this game, there's a giant castle at the top of the tree. That's the Fortress Dartmoor, which is where the evil one is camping out in his evil fortress. And we need the Ring of Dwarf to get into Dartmoor, and that's what that guru just gave us. Yeah, everyone blinks a lot in this game. Again, don't ask me why. I didn't program it. I'm just explaining it. So we just use our last key. Look at all that damage he's taking. There's a new route that was relatively recently found by Havoc Prodigy, who ran Little Nemo earlier in this marathon, where we add yet another intentional death into the run, which is how he can get away with taking all this damage now. Otherwise, it would be suicidal. Again, he went back and forth there to trigger that wing boot spawn, which I think is just a safety strat. I don't think I've ever seen him take those boots before. So here's the town of Daybreak, which we don't do anything in anymore either, unfortunately. Actually, that's a very good point, Simple Sarah. It is suicidal because we're going to be taking a death. You see, as it turns out, King Grieve, King of the Dwarves, knew that the Dragon Slayer would be the only weapon that could kill the evil one, the alien that came in the meteorite that crashed. So, as the evil one was turning King Grieve into a monster, he actually took the Dragon Slayer into his body to protect it. So basically, he's giving his life to save the world tree here. King Grieve is a hero, and now we're going to go kill him, because we need the Dragon Slayer. Even though we're not going to be able to wield it because we didn't get the battle helmet, getting it is enough for the guru to give us the the Ring of Demon to get into the Evil One's fortress. See, there's the Evil One's fortress door right there. If you don't have the Ring of Demon and you try to go in the door, it will say, "Do you need a ring to open a door?" Many a Faxanadu run has been lost by people learning the game by simply forgetting to get the ring and then seeing that gut-wrenching message. So here's the Castle Fraternal, which the King Grieve lives in. Again, he's pausing here to extend the wing boots because the wing boots actually help during the fight with King Grieve. The Evil One's bungalow, yeah. The Castle Dartmoor is so large it has 2 castles inside it. And here's King Grieve. And down goes Grieve. So now we're going to go get the demon ring. And then we're gonna die again. I was so happy when we added yet another intentional death to the speedrun route. Now why this guru is living here with monsters all around, I have no idea either. He must have some special superpowers to keep his church going. Controller head makes a good point. Yeah, see, here's the one problem with the speedrun. Everyone is saying that the Dragon Slayer is the only weapon you can use to defeat the Evil One. Well, we are not going to use the Dragon Slayer. We're just going to use that plain old longsword we bought in Forepaw. Oh, that's why Shiner got those wing boots. And here we are, the Evil One's fortress. The music's great here. It's basically a musically inverted version of some early music in the game. Now, the speedrun is anticlimactic now, because here's what we do. We just get some ointment right here. Which means we're now invincible for the rest of the game. Alright, get ready on time. We're on the final boss right here, the Evil One, whom we're invincible against. And down goes the Evil One. Time. Power of the wing boots is gone. Oh, I can't see the timer. Did he actually get a record? Wow. Well, we did say he was getting a new route.
I gotta see what my time was first. I think we started early as well. I wasn't running my splits, so I don't know what my time actually was. It could be even better than that.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, it could be better, though. Because I didn't do very well on the task farming. Everything else was pretty good. Missing the jump in the Evil One's Fortress at the end was a bit costly. Where else were there mistakes? I didn't get the double Mario boost right before the magical rod. I think that just happens if you jump into that screen a certain way. I have to figure that one out. And yeah, I'm just really glad skipping the meat in Mascon worked out. That alone saves 11 seconds. So that's probably the main reason for world record, honestly. Like right now, it's hard to break even with the task strats, actually. You have to be really good at it, and I don't think I did it well enough.
What's funny is, in Fortress, I was just about to explain to them about how you needed to avoid the wraparound, and then you went and took the wraparound hit.
Yeah, I knew I could take it. I was pretty sure I could take it. Pixel perfect, no big deal.
You couldn't have had more than a pixel or two of health. Wow. Great run, man. Great run.
Thank you, thank you. I gotta say, I gotta give all my shoutouts to Svenna and Bad Breaks for setting this up. I'm very honored that they put me so close to the end with all these epic adventure games of the NES. I'm very flattered that they put Faxanadu in that pantheon. Anyway, I guess I'll stop streaming and we'll move on to The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Great race coming up.
Ooh, it's a race. I don't quite know enough about that game to commentate for that, so I'm just gonna watch. So,
Yeah.
thanks again, you guys, and thanks to everyone who watched. I love you guys. I was watching chat for the whole run. It was pretty amazing to stream this run for 3,800 viewers. So yeah, follow my stream if you want to see more. Although I don't stream very often, and I won't be for some time because I'm moving and won't have internet there for some time.
ShinerCCC. ShinerCCC. Follow this man.
Also, oh yeah, the start of the run kind of went really awry with the way the hopping skulls behaved, but that's kind of tough to do as well.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks, Press J Poke, Shiner. Great run, great commentary.
I'll have to watch the highlight and hear the commentary after.
Yeah, it was really great. Everyone was digging it. So just wanted to quickly catch everybody up here on where we're at. Just finished Faxanadu with ShinerCCC, so make sure to follow him on Twitch. That's his Twitch name. Next up, we have a race of The Legend of Zelda, the first one, with Darkwing Duck and Lack Attack. And that's going to be followed by a Zelda 2 race with Simple Dude and Pro JN, which is definitely going to be hype. And then we'll be wrapping up the main part of the stream with a Feasel Final Fantasy run. But stick around because we will be going into a bonus stream, which has a number of great games, and should be a lot of fun. If anybody was here for the bonus stream,